Oreste Gonnella, former track champion, Kevin Pendergrass, all the way from Anderson, California, lead him off at turn 4, green flag. Pendergrass gets the first call up on the outside and hits the front. Gonnella's got nothing for him as Pendergrass opens up down the backside. Kevin Pendergrass, your early leader here at Petaluma. Problems for Josh Combs and Terry DeCarlo. No laps, restart. We're gonna go ahead and go with this lineup. And we'll go back to green, coming off of turn number 4. Kevin Pendergrass, a great start last time. Here we go. He did it again. Pendergrass up around the outside. Your early leader opens up on Oreste Gonnella. Sets it sideways into turn 3 and 4, and Pendergrass leads lap number 1. Michael Paul runs over the cone into turn 4. He's 4th. Nick DeCarlo trying to work his way through the field as Mitch Machado pivoty hops over a couple of ruts in turns 1 and 2. He's 6th. Your leader, Kevin Pendergrass, fighting the Petaluma 3/8, but still leading the main event. Oreste Gonnella in tow is 2nd. 3rd is Joe Myers. 4th is Nick DeCarlo. Trying to split cars is Michael Paul Jr. Check out MPJ up into 3rd. Joel Myers all of a sudden, wow, he hits the throttle. I thought he had it in reverse, but he didn't. He just had something up his sleeve. Myers back up into 3rd as they click off lap number 3. Myers hops over the cushion. And MPJ back up into 3rd. Nick DeCarlo up on the outside in the 17. Here comes Nick DeCarlo. He's up into the top 3. And it's Machado and Myers and Brian Cass trying to find a way around those two. Machado and Myers hook up. Here's Brian Cass with a run. Brian Cass is up into the top 3 as Kevin Pendergrass has got his hands full with Oreste Gonnella, who's figured something out in the 23. As soon as I say that, he hooks a run, goes backwards. Pendergrass fights him off. 5 laps are in the books, 20 to go. Kevin Pendergrass off of turn number 4 is going to rearview mirror full, if he had one, of Oreste Gonnella. Gonnella going to try to dive bomb off of turn 2. He's got to run on Pendergrass. Pendergrass is running around the top side. Gonnella hits the brakes, hits the throttle, tries to close in on Pendergrass. Pendergrass is your leader. Then it's Gonnella, but here comes MPJ, Michael Paul Jr. to the bottom. Michael Paul Jr. 3 wide down the backside. There goes Oreste Gonnella to the point. Pendergrass stays in the throttle, tries to fight back, but Oreste Gannella's got the spot. MPJ goes by Pendergrass as well. Pendergrass is moving from 1st to 3rd in 1 lap now, picks up a push. There goes MPJ into the lead. Michael Paul Jr. has hit the front at Petaluma like he has so many times before. Michael Paul Jr., a former 6-time track champion, showed him the way around with 9 laps down and 16 laps to go. But here comes the daunting presence of your 2015 Petaluma Speedway track champion, Nick DeCarlo, as they hit lap traffic. Bobby Montalvo, the first one up, as Michael Paul gets through the ruts. Nick DeCarlo held up a little bit. There goes Oreste Gonnella underneath DeCarlo, fighting for position in the top 3. The podium spots up for grabs. MPJ opens up a little bit on Nick DeCarlo. Oreste Gonnella trying to get by DeCarlo. DeCarlo trying to run down Michael Paul Jr. DeCarlo into the backstretch wall. Sparks flying. There goes the 23 of Gonnella. Oreste Gonnella back up into 2nd. 3rd is the 23. Scratch that. 3rd is the 23 of DeCarlo. Then Brian Cass has made his way up to 4th. 4 very, very fast dirt modifieds are up in the front of Petaluma Speedway. Michael Paul Jr. around his father, Michael Paul Sr., Nick DeCarlo to the bottom. He goes around Oreste Gonnella for position. Nick DeCarlo back up into 2nd. Sights set on your long track champion Nick DeCarlo up there facing the wall. Got into the brakes or got into the wall. He chose the brakes. The car probably no less or no worse for wear, but DeCarlo had an eyeful of the catch fencing and the backstretch wall, and it looks like there's some rear end damage to the DC Solar 17 of Nick DeCarlo. Two outsiders trying to upset the apple cart here at Petaluma. Michael Paul back to the point. Second is Gonnella, cast solid third. Fourth is Pendergrass. Then it's Mitch Machado. Josh Combs to the bottom, problems for Norman Boeck. Back to the infield. Gonnella just took a look underneath Michael Paul Jr. Couldn't make the pass. Paul working the top side. Car working well, lifting the front, left front up just so slightly off of turn 4. Car working very well. Brian Cass has found something through the middle. Loses a little bit of momentum off of turn 2. Kevin Pendergrass takes a look to the inside of him. Michael Paul working the top, up over the cushion. Brian Cass has problems. There goes Kevin Pendergrass. Nick DeCarlo's night looks to be done. Rear end problems for the 17. 17 laps down, 8 to go. Michael Paul Jr., your leader. Oreste Gonnella all over him, but Michael Paul Jr. straight and strong up here in the front, giving Gonnella no room to breathe. Gannella's going to have to try to slide down underneath him. Michael Paul just wiped out that cushion that took out Nick DeCarlo. Gonnella hauling it in as high as anybody in turn number 1. Can't find the momentum to clear the 50 of Michael Paul Jr. 19 down, 6 to go. Michael Paul picks up a push off of turn 2. Squirting by is Oreste Gonnella. They go side by side into turn number 3. MPJ, Michael Paul Jr. fighting back on the outside. Michael Paul fights him off again. The wily veteran Michael Paul throwing some haymakers back at Oreste Gonnella. They're side by side down the backside. Gonnella forces his way into the lead. Michael Paul tries to come back underneath Gonnella down the backside and off of turn 4. There's the remnants of some contact on the outside of Michael Paul's 50. But Michael Paul just slid up in front of Gonnella, and now we're going side by side, 21 laps down. 4 laps to go. Gonnella underneath Michael Paul. There's more contact. These guys are beating and banging on each other like an MMA fight up in front. They're going through the whoop-de-doos and through the ruts, through turns 1 and 2. Gonnella counter punches. Into the infield goes Michael Paul Sr. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Over the last couple laps. We got 3 laps to go. Off of turn 4, there goes Gonnella. Michael Paul slides right up in front of Oreste Gonnella. Michael Paul to the lead. Michael Paul Jr. leads him down the backside. Gonnella in tow. Pendergrass loses traction. Michael Paul heads through the ruts. 23 laps down and 2 to go. Josh Combs has made his way back up to 3rd spot. 4th and 5th are Terry DeCarlo and Mitch Machado. They're mixing it up. But up in front, white flag is out for Michael Paul Jr. 24 laps down, 1 to go. Michael Paul picks up a push, but then again, so does Gonnella. Gonnella went for broke. Michael Paul made a mistake, and Gonnella made a mistake as well. Into 3, off of 4, Michael Paul Jr. Oreste Gonnella 2nd, Josh Combs 3rd. 5th. And like he's done so many times before, Michael Paul Jr. back into victory lane here at Petaluma Speedway. Wins round 1 of a hard-fought McClay's Tire and Auto Service IMCA Dirt Modified main event. 50, 23, 12, and 22M, and 17D, your top 5.